Hey there, and thank you so much for joining me. Today I want to talk to you about something that's very relevant to everyone these days. It's about the problem of xenoestrogens in our environment and how they negatively affect us. Now, xenoestrogens are just about everywhere, but we can live a simplified life, where we're not really affected by them to the extent that most of us probably are right now if you're not making an effort to not be. Okay, xenoestrogens, they are basically fake estrogens, and they're very unhealthy for your body, and they can put you in a state of estrogen dominance. And this can whack up hormones, be endocrine disrupting. It can do some really wacky, weird things. Okay, such as, so in 2004 they found that 42% of the male bass were producing eggs. They were hermaphrodites. They turned hermaphroditic. I don't know if they were born that way or if they turned that way or whatever, but they found out that it was because of some waste dumping there, and there was a lot of xenoestrogens, and that actually caused that to happen in our everyday life. So there's some like reproductive diseases like polycystic ovary syndrome, which I had, and I'm going to tell you how I helped. I have a video about how I got rid of it, but I'm going to tell you today even more. Like fibroids and women's disorders like that. They talk about how some cancers, are a result of these xenoestrogens in the environment. And I think maybe even some miscarriages could be because of that, because of the hormones being out of balance, and that's really sad. But the way to, and also with man boobs can be a real big problem because of this environment we live in. So men, want to learn to avoid these xenoestrogens as well, so they don't have that problem anymore. And women can go a step further by using some progesterone, which is I'm going to talk about. But the first step is to avoid xenoestrogens in your environment. One way that xenoestrogens get in people's bodies is by plastic. If you use plastic to heat up things in microwaves, you're just infused in your food with xenoestrogens right there. And I would just avoid trying to eat off of or out of any plastics at all, or minimize it as much as you can. Also, oddly enough, detergent is a huge source of xenoestrogens. So see our video about soap nuts. Soap nuts is a great alternative to detergent. Also, a lot of shampoos and things like that. Things that you put on your skin really get absorbed into your body. So that's why we really want to be as natural as possible, because a lot of products have xenoestrogens in them. For lotion, you can use coconut oil. For shampoo and washing, I found glycerin soap to be just like unscented, pure, just glycerin soap is wonderful for washing and for my hair. Now I have to wash my hair a few times with it, but my hair, when I use that, it's softer and actually not tangly either, oddly enough. And just go for the pure stuff, the really pure stuff. And also, let's see, some things like mint and stuff like that is estrogenic. So I don't even brush with mint. I haven't since I was pregnant, because especially when I was pregnant, I was avoiding sources of estrogen and xenoestrogen. Because you see, having the condition that I have, a cervical problem, with carrying children, one thing that they say is to get the progesterone shots. But I had done research on the progesterone shots, and actually they change it just a little bit so that they can patent it and sell it. And so the kind of progesterone that they were putting in the shots, some studies showed that maybe it might contribute to some kinds of cancers, because it's not acting like progesterone would all the time. So instead of that, I got something that I had used to help get rid of my PCOS, which was Progestel. And that is progesterone in coconut oil, and you rub it on your skin, and See, when you're exposed to these xenoestrogens, what happens is your body is like bombarded with it. And so it kind of desensitizes itself to estrogen. When you start using this progesterone, your body kind of wakes up those receptors. And if you keep these xenoestrogens out of your environment, then your body can detox and normalize. But you have to be careful to do these together, to use the progesterone and keep the xenoestrogens out of your environment. And when you buy this, and I'm not affiliated with it, and I, or anything like that, but I've just used it and it works. It gives a list of things to avoid, the xenoestrogens and the natural estrogen sources, and things you can use instead. But yet, I'm just telling you like how I simplify by doing just really simple things. Like the toothpaste I use is Squiggle, and I'll try to link to that below. And that's just about as pure as you can get. It's got really good ingredients in it, and no flavoring, no mint or anything like that. Or I mean, you could just use baking soda. You can't get any more simple than that. Yeah, but it tells you the directions of how to put this progesterone on, depending on your cycle and everything like that, or what you want to accomplish, whether or not you're trying to get pregnant or not. And when I was pregnant, I put it on every day because, like I said, that helps prevent premature birth when you're pregnant, to put progesterone on. And so I used the Progestel, and I never had any problem with preterm labor during my pregnancy, and I was really happy to use the natural bioidentical progesterone rather than something that's been concocted. I felt safest using that, and it worked, and I'm so glad of it. And yeah, after reading over this again today, I can see some areas in my life that I personally can go back to being a little bit more pure. Like, I think I'm going to go back to using the glycerin soap, which I'd been planning on it anyway, for washing and for hair washing. That's the main thing, really, because, we normally are pretty pure with what we use. I've been using a natural shampoo, but it has tea tree oil in it, and he says in here that tea tree oil has estrogen properties in it. But the most important thing, I think, is to stay away from the xenoestrogens. And a lot of from my understanding, from what I had read, a lot of the pesticides and herbicides are estrogenic. So, I mean, just a lot of these bad fake things in our environment that we want to stay away from are contributing to this problem. So, I mean, I think that a lot of people's lives would improve and you'd feel better and everything if you keep these xenoestrogens out of your environment. And one thing that I thought was very interesting is he said that because it's a doctor who started making this Progestel, and the story is on the website. I'll link to the website below. I'm pretty sure the story's on there. But his mother needed a progesterone cream, and there's so many progesterone creams out there. That's true, but some of them even have ingredients that contradict the progesterone that's in there. And so a cream is just like oil and water. But you don't even need that, you just need the oil here. This is like natural, pure. It's just coconut oil and progesterone. And if you're allergic to coconut oil, they'll send it to you in, I think, like grapeseed oil or olive oil. But yeah, he started it because of the need that his mother had for it, because she wasn't finding any quality progesterone cream. Yeah, but it's very interesting that if you have negative emotions, like if you're dealing with bitterness, fear, anything like that, that can hamper your body's ability to detox these xenoestrogens out of your body. So you want to get in a good emotional state as well, surprisingly enough, to be sure to get rid of these xenoestrogens in your body. And he talks about, cancer, about how most of the cancer is not genetic, most of it is environmental. And, some of the hormone-driven cancers could be because of these xenoestrogens in the environment. And so it's a really big problem, and I think it's really worth it, man or woman, to try to stay away from the xenoestrogens, go as natural as possible. And so be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube, because we, just about every video we do, we try to lead you and inspire you to live as natural as possible and show you natural alternatives so you don't get bombarded with all these chemicals. I mean, anything that you put on your skin, anything you ingest, should be as pure and natural as possible. He said that one of the big sources of xenoestrogens in food, besides the fact, I think some meats they talk about that have been given estrogen feed has a lot of estrogen. But he said produce that comes internationally could have some things that have been outlawed in the U.S. that are very estrogenic on those as well. So, yeah, the booklet has a lot of information, and that comes when you get the Progestel. But I will link to his videos below. This guy has a YouTube channel, and these videos are so informative of you know, what's going on with all of this. And also, you know, I'm not trying to sell this or anything. You know, I think it's worthy just to avoid the xenoestrogens, to clean up your life and just avoid them, because I believe, you know, your body can detox and normalize. So it's your decision whether or not you want to incorporate that in your life. Like I told you before, I first learned about it because years and years ago I had polycystic ovary syndrome, and I didn't want to do any of the things, you know, that were just putting a band-aid on it anymore. I wanted to get it over and, you know, get to the root cause and get it healed. And so that's when I started learning about, you know, detox and changing my diet, and also learning that this could help out to regulate the hormones and everything. And it really worked well. Since I've tried, you know, kind of straighten myself out like that. You know, I've had 2 children, and my cycle has been more normal than it's ever been, and I don't have like crazy cramps or anything like when I was younger I did. So yeah, and he says in there too, talks about how when people have really bad cramps and stuff like that, that can be a big red flag of estrogen dominance, because generally that's not normal really. So yeah, birth control pills can expose you to fake estrogens, and also like some people are prescribed estrogen sometimes, and of course that's gonna mess with things. Yeah, so I hope I got you thinking, and hopefully you can check out the resources below and learn even more about this. I think that a lot of people probably don't realize this, that the xenoestrogens are just, you know, adversely affecting them. So I hope that you can get cleaned up from them and lead a happier, healthier life. And I thank you so much for joining me today, and leave a comment below and let me know, have you ever given much thought to this? You know, a lot of times things kind of have to just like slap us in the face a little bit before we realize it. And you know, if I hadn't had PCOS and the fertility issues that I've had, then I may not have realized it either. So now that I do realize it, and I can help you guys and help everybody and bring awareness to it, and encourage everybody to live a more natural life. So please like this video. Please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more natural videos. Please visit all of our social media down below and join us there. We have a group on Facebook called Living the Natural Life. We would love to have you there. And also a newsletter to sign up for. And we'll be making another video soon, and we hope you have a great day. God bless. Bye.